Hi guys, welcome back to episode 10 of the Liverpool career mode. In this episode, it will be post commentary, so I'll be talking over the footage of our gameplay, of our transfers, and all of those kind of things. Quite a busy episode. Obviously, we've got this FA Cup game versus Exeter, we've got Leicester in the league, and we will have Burnley in the league, and we also have all of our deadline day business. So I'm expecting maybe one more incoming. We'll get into that later in the episode. And yeah, this is the team for the first game versus Exeter. Quite a rotated side. Obviously, not playing the likes of Fabinho, Hendo, Jota, Van Dijk, like a lot of players being rested. We should be beating a team like Exeter. So let's get into the game. You can see the team on the right, and we'll get straight into it. So, as you can see on the ball here, we managed to get through Adeyemi, who's playing right wing for us at the moment, and he makes a really poor pass there into Divock Origi, which didn't actually go to his feet. However, we managed to get the ball back, and Divock Origi lays it off, gets a little bit tangled with Jones, but it's an excellent finish from him in the end. He's definitely becoming more of a goal scoring midfielder in that position for us. I'm sure maybe more towards the end of this season and next season, he'll start rivaling Thiago or Naby Keita for that left sided attacking position for us. But at the moment, yeah, Thiago's had a really good season, and as has Naby Keita, so nothing really we can complain about with them. They did have a few chances themselves, though, Exeter. It was a pretty even game considering the team that I put out. I expected it to do the business, and if that had gone in there to make it 1-1, it would have been pretty tight. Adeyemi was lightning quick getting in down the wing, but his passing slightly let him down on a couple of occasions, and he was offside for that one there when the rebound came back to him and he hit the post. So even if it gone in, it wouldn't have counted. But here we have Harvey Elliott playing a great ball into Divock Origi, and he tries a really cheeky chip, and it doesn't quite go in. Um, Origi had a few missed chances actually in this game, as we see another one there off the corner. He really could have scored a lot more, but that could come back to bite us. As you can see, Exeter coming in just on the stroke of half time, and they'd spin our man, and they just hit the post, and the ball comes out to Simicas, and that's half time. So all in all, a decent first half, but Exeter definitely had a few chances. We're playing the ball again. A lot of the good things came through Adeyemi, Elliott, and Jones, and as you can see there, Jones passed it through to Elliott, and he had another chance. Off the resulting corner, we do win the initial header, but nothing quite came of it. The ball comes back out to James Milner, and I try a long shot with him, but nothing quite like what he's capable of. However, Harvey Elliott, that man again, plays through a really nice ball to Divock Origi. Divock Origi tried the chip in the first half, but he wasn't going to mess it up this time. He didn't chip, just went across the keeper, and finally Divock gets his goal. It's a little bit like Firmino in the last episode, where it took him about 3 or 4 chances to finally get the goal, but finally he managed to put one in, and that's going to help his confidence, no doubt. He needed to step up when we had players out at AFCON, and he's done pretty decently for us. However, like I was saying in the first half, Exeter always looked reasonably in this game, and their striker manages to lay it off to a forward run, and they score. And obviously, at this point, 76 minutes in, I try and bring on Thiago just to sort of like calm the game down a bit. But unfortunately, Nat Phillips gets spun by, I think that's Isaiah Brown or some. It might be just someone else called Brown. But he manages to get the ball in, and Collins scores one past Kelleher, and it goes to 2-2 with 10 minutes left, which is obviously, you know, we showed that we had more chances than them, but they had chances to get back into the game, and they've taken two in a row, and our poor finishing earlier really could come back to bite us. But we've now got Clayton on the field. He puts the ball into Jones, and Jones, as I was saying earlier, is becoming a goal-scoring midfielder for us, especially in these Carabao Cup and FA Cup games, and he does exactly that. It's a great finish into the top of the net, and yeah, thankfully we've won. We managed to win that game in the I think late 80s minutes, so that was good. Just after his performance there, Brighton obviously thought he did really well, so they came in for a loan deal for him. But obviously, I'm not looking to loan out Curtis Jones. He's got a massive future at this club. He's been playing very well in real life at the moment as well. And obviously, after that game, we get into the deadline day. We have Divock Origi, first of all. We got an email for him saying that his development has improved, so he's now gone up to a 79 rating, and I think he might even have a 5-star week for now. So that's good. Obviously, the amount of game time he's been getting recently. And the other email we get is that Max Aarons has been approached by Crystal Palace, a player that we have on our shortlist, but I think I'd prefer to just stay with Neco Williams at the moment. Just going through, seeing the kind of business. Digne being sold by Everton, like in real life. Us, we haven't done much business, only 5.5 mil. I think it said that Leicester had signed Bale. It was quite a big signing there. City get Dolberg. Um, Couple of decent deals. Correa to Spurs is a big one, obviously. Fornals and Bowen have both left West Ham. Fofana, I wonder which Fofana that is. Guedes has gone to Arsenal. So some decent signings all round. Burnley selling Chris Wood, like in real life. Visca going to Chelsea. He's quite old. I don't really know why they signed him, to be honest. But now, just looking at our targets, there's one more guy that I wanted to go in for this episode, and it wasn't any of these big guys. It was just a pretty decent average signing. Obviously, I know now that he has actually gone to Brighton, so I think we'll probably have to let him go maybe in the summer. But at the time that I recorded this, we were heavily linked with signing him. So I went in a decent offer, 3 million. I think they come back. They want a slight, yeah, they want 3.5 and a 1% sell-on clause. So that's absolutely fine. Like we have loads of money, and yeah, Kozlowski actually has got serious potential on FIFA, and I'm sure in real life as well. I was a bit disappointed when he did, when it was announced that he would go to Brighton, and then he was loaned out to a Belgian side, I think, for the rest of the season. So I'm sure he'll have a very good career at Brighton. Likes of Adam Lallana there, could learn a lot from him, I'd say, ex-Liverpool player. But yeah, in terms of this episode, in terms of his sort of contribution to us, we'll have him a little bit. We'll use him in the cup games, I imagine, between now and the end of the season. But obviously, come the end of the season, we'll probably look to get rid of him. As you can see here on screen, I go into his development plan. Um, have to see me scroll through the whole team. But yeah, eventually I managed to find him. An exciting prospect, as you can see. So that's 85 to 89, I believe, off the top of my head. So as you can see, 4-star, 4-star, really good acceleration, really good agility, balance, that sort of stuff. So outside of the foot shot trait, he's basically a perfect sort of like attacking midfielder for us. Could play attacking midfielder, could play maybe even false nine eventually, or could have played in that box to box midfield role that we use a lot. But yeah, this is going to give him the 5-star week for. Eventually, we'll probably have to sell him, as I've been saying. But as you can see, Inter Milan come in with an offer for Salah, and the form that Salah's been on. I know he's been away at AFCON recently, so I haven't had him playing in the team, but that is just a pitiful offer for him, 50 odd million. Like I'm not going to accept that. Some other big deals going in: Conti, Malqui going to Everton. I think that will be the rest of my business. But as you can see there, Lautaro Martinez has gone to Real Madrid for 77 million. Another player who has been linked with moves to the Premier League in the past, not necessarily with us, more like Spurs and Arsenal, I think, have been linked with him. But Daniel Marti, another one at AFCON, has left. And they've got Carlos Vela and Bale. That's interesting. Two kind of old right wingers. So kind of questionable signings there. But I don't know. Maybe Leicester wanted two of those kind of players. Just winding down, we're not really getting any offers. Richarlison going to City is another big move there. Just pops up on screen. Andre, the French holding midfielder. Hlojek to Watford is quite a big deal. Wolves have been doing some good business for Fana and Bashagli. Savic to Arsenal. Not really too much for Villa. They've done a lot in real life, though. Hernandez to Chelsea. I wonder if that's Theo Hernandez or if that's Lucas Hernandez. Because I think they sold. Actually, I can't remember who Chelsea sold. Who did they sell? That's Theo Hernandez. So that's a decent sale for them. Atletico Madrid replacing Koke with Milinkovic Savic. That seems like a very good deal for them. 4 years in age between them. So That's definitely a good deal for Atletico. Atletico seem to be doing a lot of business. It's like Kovacic, Richarlison to City for 62 mil. Atletico doing loads of business. Lamar, Correa, both out. PSG have signed two midfielders, which is kind of questionable. So Chelsea have signed Bernat and Hernandez. So they signed two left backs, and they still have Chilwell um, and Alonso, which is questionable. Fofana, we mentioned him. Digne to Real Madrid. Hummels to Real Madrid. Hlojek to Watford. He's definitely one for the future. He'll be really interesting. And we have to play against him in a few seasons' time. But yeah, that's most of the deals. We're done for our business. I'm very happy with our business. We haven't signed too many players. But just as the deadline ends, we get another offer for Thiago this time. And it's a swap deal with Christian Eriksen. Obviously, Christian Eriksen hasn't been playing in real life recently, and Thiago's been playing really well for us. But it's an interesting offer, but obviously, I'm not going to be accepting that. Thiago is our guy. As we go into the youth scout system, got a few guys that could have a bit of potential. Like obviously with dynamic potential, even though this guy doesn't have the best potential, even though he's 17 and 62, he could definitely have a future. Whether that be at our club, I'm not sure if I really want to be using too many of the academy players. I prefer using the real guys, as I've said previously. But you know, it's realistic to assume that Liverpool will have academy players that we don't know of now playing in the team in 4 or 5 years. Like that's pretty much guaranteed. I could imagine, and there are a lot of decent academy players in real life that aren't in the team, aren't even on FIFA. But in terms of a guy that is on FIFA, Jaros, we're loaning him out to Swansea. And then more in terms of a guy that we could actually be looking to sell come the end of the season, it's Divock Origi. We have an offer for him from Aston Villa. Now, obviously, with Gerrard being at Aston Villa in real life at the moment, that is quite an interesting prospect, as we could definitely be signing a few Aston Villa players in the years to come, especially if Gerrard does take over from Klopp. I imagine we could get a lot of players. So, as I just basically look through their whole squad, go through, I don't think that a keeper would be, someone that we'd sign. As we've still got Allison, obviously our fullbacks. I think we're pretty set for fullbacks for the future. And obviously, in terms of centre back, I don't really think that Conser or Mings or Hawes or anyone would be someone that Liverpool would look at. Obviously, in terms of strikers, like Ollie Watkins is one that has been linked with us in the past, and I'm sure he'll be linked with us again. And then another guy that's out on loan at the moment, Louis Barry, another striker, who scored against Liverpool in his first ever game in the FA Cup, and Fabinho gave his shirt to him, and then he had to give back his own shirt because it was obviously his debut. But there are a few guys that we're interested in. I'm not sure if now's the right time, but another guy that I would really like and has been playing really well in real life is Jacob Ramsey. Really good in like that box to box position on the left hand side. Definitely like could mould even more under Gerrard and become really good. But I don't think now is the right time to be looking at selling Divock Origi. He's been playing really well for us in real life. We could look for a swap for Ollie Watkins, but I still think with the likes of the players that we've got, Adeyemi, Clayton, um, Divock for the rest of the season, and then obviously Jota and Firmino as like our two main guys. So I just went in with just like a monstrous offer, and obviously negotiations broke down. But I wasn't too unhappy about that. I'm happy to keep Divock at least until the summer, when it looks like he's going to leave in real life, because the clause in his contract to get a new deal is is probably not going to be done. But as you can see on screen now, as we go into this Leicester game, we have our players back from AFCON. So we have Mane and Salah both back on the wings. Unfortunately, that does mean that Jota has dropped to the bench, and Elliot, of course, as well. But as you can see, we also have Naby Keita back on the bench. So it means that we have a very stacked team at the moment. Players like Divock Origi, who's played really well recently, um, back in the reserves. But that's the team that we've gone with, and it's good to have Salah and Mane back. And speaking of Mane, he gets the ball straight away down here on the wing, cuts back in, and we get a little bit lucky with this deflection. And I thought it was in, but it just clipped the bar and went over. We get another chance here. Bobby Firmino doing some tight dribbling. The ball goes into Thiago, back into Firmino, and Bobby smashes it against the post. We got a bit unlucky. We've hit the bar and the post inside 36 minutes. And as always, it seems on this career mode, if we get a chance and they get a chance very quickly, or then they get a chance and then we get a chance, and it's happened again. I don't know what happened there really with Matip and Trent, but they got a chance and they still somehow manage to keep the ball. Robbo just gets bundled over. They get the ball back in with Maddison, and he skills Matip, and thankfully Ali makes another really good save. And you think the clip would end there, but it doesn't. We go on again. Fabinho has acres of space to run into. He goes charging through the middle, gives it to Bobby, who plays a really good pass through to Mane, and then he gets on his bike to get the 1-2, and we score another goal like that. It's basically our go-to goal at the moment on the counter-attack. Get Mane in behind their right back, and then sweat it or cross it back across. And this time it goes to Firmino, and it's an excellent finish from him. He's been on really good form recently. Slots it into the corner plus past Schmeichel, and yeah, we'll definitely take that. 15 goals in 21 games, so yeah, he's definitely stepped up, considering he wasn't brilliant at the start of the season. We get a little bit lucky here again. Mane tries to play the ball across the Hendo, but the ball just bounces for Thiago, and Mo Salah on his right foot this time. You'd expect him to go on the left, but he has at times, like Watford and Manchester City this season, gone on the right foot as it's less predictable because teams expect him to cut in onto his left because it's so good. His right foot's definitely got a lot better, and that's a really good finish into the corner past Schmeichel, as you can see here. Good angle, and yeah, it's a really good finish. But Leicester were threatening the whole game, and if they probably played it one more pass there, they would have had an easier chance. But they do still hit the post, and then the ball somehow bounces back to Alisson. And yeah, we have to be a bit careful, obviously. But like with most things, we get an attacking chance after a good save, or if they miss a good chance, and Salah cuts back in, goes onto his left this time, and that's a great finish from him. That's what we're accustomed to with Salah, cutting in on that left foot, putting it in the far corner, and that's his second. He returns from AFCON with a brace versus Leicester, and obviously that is really, really good to have him back and firing for us. Much more, as I was saying, a custom finish of Salah to come in on that left and put it past the keeper into that corner. And now in the game, we've made a couple of subs. We've brought on Konate for Matip, and we've also brought on Keita. But they get through there, and I thought Van Dijk was just going to dribble it into his own net, but thankfully, ball does come out. And like I keep saying, this episode, whenever they go down one end and miss a chance, we get a chance at the other end. This time, Jota's on the field, and he just can't quite get to it. Would have been a carbon copy of so many of our goals. And literally, from that, they go up the other end. Barnes running down the wing, puts in a cross. Carlos Vela, the new man, just like pushes it inside, and it's a really good first time finish from Vardy to make it 3-1. I don't know why he's pranced around like that, like this, you're losing 3-1, mate. But it was a really good counter attack from them. For once, we get punished for not taking our chances at one end. Normally, it's the other way round. But that will be the final score. 3-1. We're obviously about to play this game in real life. I would absolutely love a 3-1 win after this international break. Obviously, with the likes of Mane and Salah and Keita back, etc. And yeah, we should have a really fit squad in real life when this game comes about. Fans are very happy. So yeah, we now go into this game against Burnley, and Burnley obviously play a 4-4-2, very boring. So I decided that I was going to sort of match it, but play a little bit more attacking, as most of my normal midfield were tired, the likes of Hendo, Fabinho, Thiago, etc. So I decided to go with a 4-2-4. I put Gomez in to just offer a little bit more recovery speed, but then Keita and Ox in midfield, and then the Fab Four up front: Jota, Bobby, Salah, and Mane. It could be absolute carnage against Burnley, and that's what I was hoping for. So let's get into the game and actually see how it goes. Um, Burnley have a few decent players, like the likes of McNeil and Cornet, both on that left-hand side. But yeah, we get a chance pretty much straight away. Jota with the interplay with Firmino, which is really good, and Mane goes like in behind, and he literally just, as always, grabs the attention of the keeper and then passes it across, and it's just such an easy finish. Whoever's there, it's normally either Jota or Firmino. They're the beneficiaries of these fantastic runs from Mane, and yeah, it's another really simple finish. That's Jota's 15th goal in 24 games, and Mane's must be pretty high on the assist charts by now. I'm not sure if he's overtaken Hendo, but yeah, confirmation there, 15 and 24 for Diogo Jota. And Jota would really have a good game this game, as you can see going around Long there. Kevin Long, I believe, was his name, and just one on one with Pope, and Jota's not going to miss that. So that's now his 16th goal in 24 games. I've got Jota and Bobby Firmino both leapfrogging each other basically the whole time in terms of the scoring charts. But this run is just excellent. Like, he knows that the defender's not got the pace to catch him. Cornet can't come inside quick enough. And as soon as he gets into that position, he's just going to finish it in the far corner. Burnley tried to attack, but they were too poor, really. And Oxlade-Chamberlain wins the ball back, and Firmino plays a great pass through to Jota for his hat trick inside 25 minutes. And of course, he's going to finish that one. Firmino playing a really good pass to his strike partner. And Jota, as I was saying earlier, an absolute beneficiary of good passing moves. Straight through the middle, no one's catching him. And yeah, we will take that hat trick for Diogo Jota. Just on the stroke of half time here, and Trent plays a really good pass. We head it inside with Mane, and this time Jota tries to play through Firmino, but it's definitely better the other way round. Jota has more pace in behind, and Firmino, obviously, the slightly better passer. But we'll take that. 3-0 up at half time. Jota with all three goals. He hasn't really had to do that much, in all honesty. But yeah, he's got a hat trick out of it. And we're playing again with the ball around here just in front. Jota spins his man and tries to go with his left foot. He scored a goal against Arsenal, pretty similar to that. Ball bounces back. Naby Keita wins the header. Ox gives it on, and this is a great finish from Mane. The replay will show just how good it was. Really good play. Sadio Mane this time scoring. He doesn't score a lot of goals for us for some reason. He's more of a creator normally. But yeah, that pass there, and it's a great first touch out of his feet. And he absolutely thumps that into the net. Oxlade-Chamberlain played really well this game. And yeah, he and Naby Keita really controlled that midfield for us. Robbo with the ball in now, and this is an excellent, excellent save from Nick Pope. Manages to keep us out from scoring a fifth goal. McNeil trying a few skills, but Joe Gomez wins the ball, and now it's seriously, seriously attacking. This Burnley side have put a lot of men forward, and Mane's straight in behind, and it's another excellent finish from him past Nick Pope. He's managed to get 2 goals. Salah got 2 last game, Mane's got 2 this game. And yeah, so that's really good. Sharing out the goals between Jota and Mane in this 5-0 game so far. And as you can see, just in like the pretty much last minute, they managed to get a chance. Yaziki, their new sign, gives it to McNeil. Don't know where Trent's gone. He went into midfield, tried to foul a guy, but it didn't quite work. And Kanate sort of gets bundled over by Allison, which is never ideal. I mean, yes, it's annoying to concede a last minute goal to wipe out the clean sheet, but it's not like we have a clean sheet objective to make. Yes, it's a consolation goal, it's nothing more. And that will be how the end of the game is. 5-1 win. Diogo Jota getting the match ball, as you can see on screen. Really happy for him. So, just to finish off this episode, as you guys know, I'm trying to keep this career mode as realistic as possible. Therefore, I need to update the 25-man Premier League and UCL squads after the January window. Now, as you can see on screen, I've got Kareem Adeyemi, I've got Jack Butland, Kasper Kozlowski, and Ricardo Pepi on screen there. So there are 4 signings from the January window. If we go over to our actual squad, we'll start with the Premier League one. So we've got a minimum of 8 homegrown players in a 25-man squad. So as you can see, we've got Hendo, Milner, Chamberlain, the new signing, Jack Butland, Gomez, Trent, Kelleher, and Nat Phillips. So that fulfills the minimum of 8 required. Therefore, we're allowed a maximum of 17 overseas players. However, we don't actually fulfill this quota. As you can see on screen, we've only got 15 players that are from overseas. And they are Alisson, Robbo, Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Matip, Konate, Fabinho, Thiago, Nabilad, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Origi, Jota, and Minamino. Then we can go to the list of under 21 players. These are players that were under 21 at the start of the season, and you're allowed as many of these players as you want to fill out your squad. So obviously we've got Patugla, who's been there the whole season. Yaros has just returned from loan. Obviously we've accepted a new loan for him, but we could play him in the Premier League before he goes back out on loan. Not that I'm expecting that we will have to, as he's like our 4th or 5th choice keeper, but he is eligible to play. Then we've got Neko, Billy Comatio, Clayton, Boys, Norris. Curtis Jones is one that is 21 now, but obviously at the time he was under 21, so it's fine to be registered in this list. Then we've got Dixon Bonner, Harvey Elliott, and then 4 new signings who are all under the age of 21. Kozlowski, Adeyemi, Pepe, we signed from other clubs, and then Clayton, who's a youth academy promotion. So that is our Premier League 25-man squad. We only used 23 of the senior players, though, and the rest are under 21. Now, it works slightly differently for the Champions League. Again, you're allowed a 25-man squad. However, four of your 25 men have to be homegrown, like starred players, which basically means that they were brought up in the youth academy of the actual team that they still play for. So luckily for us, we've got Trent, Kelleher, Nat Phillips, and Curtis Jones. As you can see though, because we've had to promote Curtis Jones to this section, it does unfortunately mean that Jack Butland is going to have to miss out on this squad. So we keep Gomez, Chamberlain, Milner, and Hendo all in it. So we have no third choice keeper in terms of having a senior third choice keeper. It means that we will have to get a third choice keeper from the under 21s. For example, Marcelo Patugla would have to be our third choice keeper if we required him in the Champions League. And again, it works a little bit differently with the youth players as well. So as you can see, we've got all the normal 15 as before, all from Becker to Minamino. That's our 15 from the Premier League. We also have to have Harvey Elliott and Karim Adeyemi in this group, because even though they are under the age of 21, because they haven't been in our academy for 3 seasons, so Harvey Elliott eventually will become a UCL squad homegrown player. Adeyemi will always be an overseas player because he's signed at the age of 19, so he doesn't have 3 years before he becomes 21. But Elliott eventually will become a homegrown player. But for the purposes of this season, and obviously Adeyemi for every season from now on, they will go down as overseas players. So as you can see, that is the final squad for our UCL and Premier League. We've got very good squads. The only thing, obviously, is that we can't use our third choice keeper in the Champions League, or the likes of Pepe or Kozlowski in the Champions League. But I think apart from that, we have a really, really competitive squad, especially now that the boys are back from AFCON. It should be a really good second half of the season. I'm obviously looking to win the Premier League, Champions League. We missed out in the Carabao Cup, and we're still in the FA Cup. So we could really look at 3 trophies this season. It will be incredibly hard, especially in the Champions League, but the Premier League we've done really well in so far, so we just need to keep that up as long as possible. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you liked the in-depth look into our new squads and the realism that we've gone in. We've taken the depth of the realism really, really seriously. So yeah, we try to keep it as realistic as possible. And if you enjoyed that, please leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.